Every gathering has one voice that makes the others go quiet. In this one, it belonged to a small brown bird. When the nightingale sang, hawks forgot to hunt. Old birds remembered being young. 30,000 birds were leaving on the hardest journey in the world. The most beautiful voice among them said, "I am not coming." Not because of fear, because of love. And if you have ever loved something you couldn't leave, you already know this story. You just don't know how it ends. Last time it was the peacock. The bird made of color folded its famous tail to cut the wind and flew. Not beautiful anymore, just trying to keep up. Nobody laughed. If you are new, here is the whole story in one breath. The birds of the world have no king. A plain bird called the hoopoe told them the truth. The king is real. He lives past the edge of the world, and the road to him takes everything. 30,000 rose into the sky. But the road keeps asking one question, bird after bird. What do you love more than the truth? The nightingale had an answer. He wasn't ashamed of it. "I am drunk," the nightingale said. "I have been drunk on one rose my whole life. When she blooms, I sing 1,000 songs to her. Every song is her name said differently. Each moment my longing grows. Each moment her beauty surprises me again. How is that possible? I know every petal. And when she leaves the garden, I go silent." Did you know that? The famous voice, gone. A whole year, I cannot sing one note. I sit in the empty garden with 100 burns on my heart, and I wait. She is in my heart, in my eyes, in my blood, hidden and open. You ask me to seek a king with my whole heart. My whole heart is taken. There is no room in it for kings. The hoopoe listened to the whole speech. Then he said one sentence, quietly, like a doctor. "That is not love. That is appetite." The nightingale's beak opened. Nothing came out. "You call it love because it is loud," the hoopoe said. "But listen to what you actually told me. Her beauty feeds you. Her absence starves you. That is not devotion, singer. That is hunger. And look at what you are hungry for. A rose lives 5 days. 5. In the garden of life, she has no loyalty and no tomorrow. 1 week of color, then the wind takes her apart, petal by petal, onto the dirt. Every year she dies. Every year you nearly die with her. And every spring a new rose opens and laughs at you because you cannot tell the difference. Love that is worth the word is given to what does not wither. Love for a dying thing has only one ending, and it is not a beautiful one. Let me tell you how that ending looks, the hoopoe said. A king rode out one morning through his city. and a beggar by the road looked up and fell in love with him, hopelessly, publicly. He wailed the king's name in the squares. He rolled in the warm ashes by the fire pits like a madman singing of his king. The whole city knew, and the king heard. So the king decided to test this love. He rode to the fire pit where the beggar sang and said to his guards, loud enough for all, "Bring him to me and take his head." The beggar looked up at the man he had sung about for years, and he ran. Blind with fear, he bolted through the crowd, and in his panic, he stumbled into his own fire. The flames he had sung beside took him in a moment. Here is what the beggar never knew. The king's plan was mercy. If the beggar had bowed his head and accepted the sword, the king would have stepped down from his horse before the whole city, asked his forgiveness, raised him up, and kept him at his side forever. A friend of the king, closest of the close. The test was 1 moment long, and his love did not survive it. The hoopoe turned back to the nightingale. "You sing beautifully at a safe distance." So did he. But love is not what you feel when the rose is blooming. Love is what you do when the test comes. Now, you. Yes, you, listening. You have a rose. Everyone does. The thing you circle around year after year, the thing that eats your songs and gives you 5 days of color back. It doesn't have to be a person. It can be a place, a habit, a version of yourself you keep singing to. Ask one honest question about it. When your rose drops its petals, and it will, what will be left of you? The nightingale had no answer. For the second time in his life, he was silent. That evening, before the flock rose, the nightingale flew to the rose one last time. He perched. He began his farewell song, the one he had sung 1,000 times. And halfway through a note, he stopped. Just stopped. The garden had never heard him stop before. The silence was louder than any song he ever sang. Then he turned into the wind and joined the flock. Ahead, in the grey line of birds, another shape was already moving forward to speak. A soft little dove, raised in one garden, who had never flown through a single storm in her life. Nothing bad had ever happened to her, which raises a stranger question. What excuse can a bird possibly have when life has always been kind?